A report released by the UN on Wednesday indicates that African countries are spending between 2% and 9% of their budgets to respond to extreme weather events. Reports of climate change, the Ukraine conflict, and a global economic slowdown have been identified as key factors that have impacted Africa's economy negatively. The UN report shows a decline from a growth of 4.6% in 2021 to just 3.6% in 2022. A pledge by rich nations to provide climate financing of $100 billion has not yet been fully met. Well, climate change, the Ukraine conflict, and a global economic slowdown have been identified as key factors that have impacted Africa's economy negatively. And the UN report shows a decline from a growth of 4.6% in 2021 to just 3.6% in 2022. A pledge by the rich nations to provide climate financing of $100 billion has not yet been fully met. Well, let's now bring in our guest, Lucy Mtilatila, who is a director for climate change and meteorological services based in Blantyre, Malawi. Hi there, Lucy. Thank you so much for joining us on Africa Live. Lucy, the UN is reporting that climate change is having a devastating impact on Africa's economies, and it's not the first time that we hear that kind of reporting. What kind of impact are we talking about, Lucy, and who's affected the most?
Actually, in terms of the impact, it's really a lot, because I'll give an example of Malawi, where in the past 3 years has been affected by 4 cyclones. So in 2020, actually 5, because in 2020 we experienced 2 cyclones, Idai and Kenneth. And as we are trying to recover, in 2022 we had also 2 cyclones, Anna and Gombe. Then this year we have this one, which is like now, oh, I don't know, the worst ever tropical cyclone Freddy. So already you can see that as we are trying to recover from the impacts of the previous cyclones, then we are also faced with even much worse cyclone than before. So a lot of infrastructure is damaged right now. Of course, assessments are underway, but already we've seen like tropical cyclone Anna on how much it really affected to the economy of the country. And also, to make matters worse, Malawi is already experiencing difficulties in terms of economical issues. And this is just adding on top of what are already problems that are here.
So Lucy, we have been hearing about rich nations coming to the table, helping Africa, dealing with the effects of climate change, and even just dealing with helping countries to be able to be set up for climate change, and so that it doesn't impact the continent as much. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to happen, what can areas that have been affected the most do?
Actually, because what we really need most right now is the resilience, so that we should be able to adapt to these extreme events. So when it comes to resilience, that means we need to make sure that we have structures that are strong enough to withstand the torrential rains, for example, to withstand the strong winds that come with these kind of extreme events. So we need that resilience, but it comes with a cost. So that's where the issues are, because we cannot be able to withstand this if we don't have enough financial resources. However, we need also to make sure that we are ready for these events, because I believe that when it comes to anticipation and preparedness, it should start when we are constructing our structures. That's where now we should focus on when it comes to adaptation to these extreme events.
So Lucy, when you talk about the cost, where are we at the moment when it comes to climate finance for the continent?
That's the issue that we've been fighting all along, to make sure that we get adequate resources when it comes to finances on climate. Already, yes, there are some instruments that have been put in place, but it's not adequate, considering of the damage that the vulnerable people, the people who have just contributed least of this climate change, are facing. Because of the nature of where we are very, very vulnerable, yet we don't contribute much. And when it comes to financing, it's not really adequate, considering of even the lives of people that we are losing every time when these events happen. So we can even not, I don't know how we can cost that. It's really a lot that we are losing every day. So it's also affecting us because it's giving us like a negative feedback, because we are failing to come to a term that we can be able to withstand these events. So every time when they come, we are finding ourselves going down more and more. So really, it's an appeal that maybe we should be considered very well when it comes to this. And it's the issue of life and death in some instances, the way things are happening right now. It's really terrible.